Hello everyone, and welcome to my Locals Topping Fire King's deck profile with just 3 copies of the structure deck. Now, I'll have timestamps below, so if you want to skip to the deck profile, the combos, the test hands, you can feel free to do so. But this is going to be the first installment of my series, which is the YugiBoomer Challenges, because someone like me, last time I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Was probably in the playgrounds back 17, 20 years ago. That's right. I am getting very, very old. But, however, you can see here, we started again with just 3 copies of the structure deck, and we did win a mat, which is on theme for the structure deck as well. So I'm super, super happy. I actually went to logos for the very, very first time, and I've achieved all this. And of course, not possible, all right, without the community support subreddits such as the Yu-Gi-Oh 101. I've been there learning a lot of things, just absorbing knowledge, and also online simulators such as EDO Pro and Omega. So if you are someone who's watching this video trying to pick up Yu-Gi-Oh or want to buy 3 copies of the structure deck and worried about meta or not doing well, don't think too much, just play. Locals is going to be a fantastic time, okay? My locals, I went and the people are so friendly. Honestly, it's just awesome being able to play this even as an adult, playing against children, playing against other adults. It's honestly mind-blowing. Have fun, and I think you'll love it. It's definitely a very, very nostalgic process, and I'm loving every single minute of it. So in this series, hopefully in 2024, since holidays are coming up, I will be attending locals a lot more frequently, and also I will be attending some of the competitive game events hosted by Konami. So without further ado, let's talk about the deck list that won me the mat today. My deck list is probably going to be a bit different from other people. With my deck list, I'll try to explain just very simply what the cards do, and I always have combos, test hands, so you can really understand. Because when I was a completely beginner player, I really wish the deck list didn't just show the cards, but rather explain kind of the synergies behind them. Okay, so first starting off with the Ponic, so what I call the Little Bird. This one, when a fire monster is destroyed, of course you can special summon it from your hand. However, most importantly, you'll be also normal summoning this a lot, because in the structure deck build, this is pretty much 85% your normal summon. It will search a Fire King spell and trap, and you can be searching the Sanctuary. So Sanctuary is really good because it's going to grab or place your Fire King Islands, which will be key and crucial to your starting combo. So Fire King Sanctuary also allows you to XYZ. Yes, that's right. It's a new mechanic. I had to learn it back when Duel Links was introduced. You can overlay 2 units together, as they call it, to make a new unit if they have the same level. So very interesting mechanic, but allows you to do that on the opponent's turn, whereas normally you can only do it on your turn. So you've got the Fire King Island, which gets placed by Sanctuary, and Fire King Island allows you to pop a fire monster from the field or the hand, and then add another Fire King monster. And a lot of times you'll be adding Garunix. There's also a second effect from Fire King Island, which allows you to special summon, if you control no monsters, a fire type monster. It doesn't get triggered a lot, but it does come into play. And with the Fire King Island, we will pop the Ponix to grab the Garunix, which I play at 3 as well. This is really good. Enables, well, let me try to change the lighting. Enables your team comp. In the sense that when this gets special summoned, and you can do that when a fire monster has been destroyed. And so this triggers, for example, when you use Fire King Island to pop Ponix, you add a Garunix, and it checks at resolution, even if this just got added to the hand, that a fire monster has been destroyed, so you can special summon this. And this, on special summon, will destroy a Fire King monster from your deck. And a lot of times, starting out, you'll destroy the Baron. And having the Baron destroyed allows you to grab a Fire King monster on the next standby phase. So your opponent plays, and then it's his or her standby, it can grab a card. And a lot of times it's going to be the Kirin, which is, I think, the best card in the deck. So Kirin, during either player's main phase, you can activate the effect, which then pops one of your fire monsters to special summon this. And also, when this card is destroyed, again, you can pop it with Garunix or any of the Fire King cards. Again, the theme here is you want to get destroyed, and plus off of that, then if you destroy Kirin, you can special summon a Fire King monster from the grave, right? And when it's special summoned, you will get to non-targeting destroy a card on the field. And the non-targeting essentially means you don't have to announce the target, so they can do whatever, and as the chain resolves, you will be able to pop a card. So it definitely does come into play. Now, I said 85% you normal summon Ponix, the other 15% you will normal summon Arvata, which is a monster negation. It doesn't destroy, but it's a monster negation against the opponent by destroying, again, plussing off the destruction effect by destroying one of your fire monsters. And you have a spell trap negation version in Red Valley. And your Fire King Tenki can search 3 copies of the Arvata or 1 copy of the Rambali or the Barong. I never search Barong with it, it's just usually Arvata. I play 2 copies of the Fire King Skybird. Now this card is very, very good. I personally like it a lot. So what this does is you target however many amounts of your Fire King monster on the field, and then the enemy cards. So for example, if I have 2, I can target 2 of the enemy cards and then pop them. And even if the enemy gets rid of your Fire Kings on the field, at resolution, it doesn't check how many Fire Kings you have, just at activation how many you have. So even if they get rid of the 2, you still get to pop 2 of their cards, so which is really good. Next is the Circle. I personally really like this card to push for the damage, and I've done it today in locals as well, where I use the Circle. It's basically a tag out, but by destroying your own monster, I get to special summon another fire monster back. So for example, I can destroy Avata, which can special summon a Fire King monster back. So destroy Avata, Garunix trigger, remember, because of Avata was destroyed, so fire type is destroyed, and then Avata can special back, for example, Kirin, and basically you tag out 1, but Avata revives 1, Garunix triggers to special summon back, and this can bring back, for example, Kirin or something, and this can pop another card that can get special summon back. So basically, you can go, by tagging out 1, you can technically summon 3, if not 4 units at times, which definitely has come into play to push for final damage, so I really like this card. Next is the Fencing Fire Ferret. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has changed in the sense that if you go into a long drawn match and time gets called, because there's time limits to each fight, if you have more life points than the opponent, you can win. You have to finish the phase, as they call it. Personally, for me, I don't like to win with time with life points, but that's one way you can play it. It's also got an effect where when it gets destroyed, so Karunix again, or any effect that destroys fire type monsters, you can pop a face up card on the field, a monster card on the field, and then burn the 500, right? So one cool neat interaction is you can use Garunix to destroy this, pop a card, and then if your Avata summons it back, at the end phase, this gets destroyed because it was summoned by Avata, but the Grave effect triggers because it's no longer negated on the field. Then you can pop another face-up card, so 2 face-up monster card pops and minus 1,000 life points. So that is the core of the Fire King engine. Now looking at the tech cards I like to call 3 Darko. Now this is a card I definitely remember because I used to play as when I was a kid. Destroys all monsters on the field. Very simple. Great going second, and decent in long drawn out fights because your monsters, they want to get destroyed. So you pop yours, you pop the enemies, and you get to trigger your own monster effects. Next is the Kaiju. So these are cards that just make the game revert back to the simpler times, right? If you have an enemy card that is immune to monster effects, that negates multiple things, or just massive, and you don't know how to deal with it, you can draw one of these bad boys. It tributes the enemy card and special summons it to their field. So simple. You just get rid of the strongest monster. Basically, that is the simplified version, and it definitely comes into play. After that, we've got 3 Drawing Lockbird. So when an enemy adds a card, use this, and they can only they can no longer add cards to their hands except by drawing them. So this is really good. And then 3 Imperm. So this is really cool because it's a trap card that you can play from your hand. So yes, times have changed indeed. You can play this if you control no cards, so no monsters, no spell traps, and then you can play this from your hand, which is fantastic, and it negates a monster effect. Now you can also set this as a normal trap card and then activate it when it's, for example, the opponent's turn. It negates the monster effect, and also this entire column, yes, column does matter now, this entire column all of the spell and traps, it doesn't include monster effects. No, other spell and traps also gets negated. So if your opponents activate in the column, then yes, it gets negated. Yeah. And I have just 2 other cards. Torrential Tribute. I did not even use it a single time today at locals. It's like a Dark Hole, but it's trap and on the summon of the enemy. So I've sided them out pretty much every single match. So that is the main deck, 40 cards. Very, very solid. Looking at the extra deck, it's going to be a very fast one because the 3 Garunix Eternity is very strong, and like I said, you use Sanctuary and you have Kirin and Garunix to overlay when they summon, and it's a Dark Hole that wipes everything. It's also got a second effect that on your turn, detach a material to pop a spell and trap, and this gains 500 attack. And also, if this card is destroyed, then you get to summon Fire King monsters equal to the materials attached, right? So if 2 and this card got destroyed, I summon 2 back. So a lot of times, and this did come up, is you can do very easy when it's your turn again, kill on your turn, where let's say you have Fire King Island. You use the Fire King Island to pop this, and summons back 2, and then you can go crazy from there. I've done it with a circle as well, which is just super insane value because you're getting rid of this, which summons back 2, and the circle tags 1 back, and sometimes if you have an extra Garunix, you're getting 4 bodies back on the field. Hita I summoned only once. This is a link monster, another new mechanic. Basically, 2 effects monster, one of it being fire, allows you to link those monsters together and summon this. So this allows you to special summon an enemy fire type monster. I didn't have any mirror matches today. Well, I did, but I didn't really summon Hita. Completely escaped my mind during the mirror match, and I didn't really need her. But the other effect is if this gets destroyed by an enemy card effect, you get to add a 1500 defense or lower monster into your hand, which does come up. It came up for me once today. Looking at the other 6, I've never made any of these, not even once, even testing. So I think we can just ignore that. So that is the extra deck. That's right. Extra decks nowadays, I think the cap is 15. So I definitely need to upgrade them. Now thinking about the this is the side deck. So you play in a game best of 3, and you have 15 cards that you can switch with your main deck, and it has to be an equal amount. So if you put 6 cards in, you get 6 cards out. I did not know that before, but it allows you to adapt to going first and going second. So a lot of it is going to be my going second cards. 3 of the Alpha Beast. This essentially special summons itself when your enemy has monsters, and it can bounce. So quite neat. 3 Herald of the Abyss. This essentially allows you to pick a type and an attribute, and the enemy has to get rid of a card. This is really, really good because it gets over things that are immune to destruction or targeting effect, because it's, as I was told, based on rules. So you're targeting the enemy player and not the enemy card. So if the enemy sets up with a monster that has, immunity to everything and just insane amounts of attack, you can use this, and they have to send it away. Another card that I definitely know is Solemn Judgment. Basically, pay half your life point and negate either the summon or the activation of anything. Next, 2 cards that I did use doing testing but didn't really come up. Secret Phoenix of the Nephthys and the old Garunix. This summons back after it's destroyed. During the next standby phase, it comes back and it wipes all spells and traps. But because you have Fire King stuff, spell and traps, you don't want to really destroy it. So it didn't really come up for me. And the other one is the OG old school Garunix, which if it's destroyed, next standby phase comes back, and then Dark Holes the entire board basically. 2 Rekindled. Came up in testing, but I didn't use it. Allows you to summon as many 200 defense fire monsters as you want. So Kirin's one of them. A lot of the 4 stars are 200 defense as well, but banish it at the end of the turn. So you can overlay them, you can exceed with them, but yeah, you can use their effective pop to destroy them, but it didn't really come up for me. And then these two I never sided in really. Torrent's Tribute and this Fire King Trap. Never really used. So that is the deck profile. We can talk about the matchup today, and we can go through the combos as well as test hands. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next portion. So starting out with the most basic combination, which is your turn 1 play, and this is one that all Fire Kings players should know about, is basically your Ponyx 1-card combo. Right? So you normal summon the Ponyx, and that will get you the Sanctuary, and you activate the Sanctuary to place a Fire King Island. You activate the Fire King Island to pop your own Ponyx to add a Garunix. So Garunix will be able to trigger because you've destroyed the Ponyx to special summon. Okay, and Garunix effect on special summon, you get to destroy a Fire King monster, which is going to be the Baron, and that's it, right? That's it for your first turn. Now, it doesn't look like much, but this is the very, very basic of your combination, kind of the cornerstone of understanding what your deck does. Now, back to the opponent's turn, they'll draw a card and enter standby phase. Your effects will trigger. Ponyx gets added to the hand because it was destroyed, and Baron will trigger, adding you a Kieran. Now, key thing to note is these two triggers are separate. You cannot chain them together to chain block. That's something I'll probably talk about and learn in a separate video. Chain block is definitely important. I used chain blocking to my advantage today as well in the locals, but you cannot chain block with these two effects for now. So now Kieran in hand, allowing you to pop your Ponyx when it's the enemy's turn during their main phase. And in this case, what's interesting is if, okay, you can let your opponent play, and you don't need to use the Kieran's effect right away, because if you use Kieran's effect to destroy your own Ponyx, you can trigger the Garunix as well. The Garunix will come back, the Kieran gets summoned, and Garunix effect will trigger. But let's just say, okay, the opponent doesn't get rid of it, and then you can overlay after special summon Kieran into the Eternity after your opponent summons again. Okay, so this is quite important. You need to time. If your opponent is a combo deck, you need to make sure before they reach a negate or anything like that, pop your Ponyx, and you get the overlay on their summon, which is key, before they full combo you. Otherwise, if you wait too long, things are going to get negated. So that's also very key. And like I said, you know, you can let your opponent get rid of your Garunix as long as it's not banished, and then pop, and this way allowing you to summon Garunix, offer the Kieran destruction of the Ponyx, and Garunix can pop, for example, another card, another Kieran perhaps, and the Kieran will trigger special summoning Ponyx, and then this Kieran's effect will let you destroy a card on the field non-targeting. And you can still overlay, you have the option to do that, but also because the Ponyx was special summoned, you can add either a Circle or a Fire King Skyburn, which on the next turn, your turn is absolutely insane, right? Because let's say you overlaid, right, to get rid of their monster, and they have no play, and this gets destroyed. Now, back to your turn, you draw for turn, and then the Ponyx comes back, because of it being added, right? It being added by, it was destroyed by the Kieran, and then special summon back, and then destroyed again by the Garunix Eternity, so you can add it back to your hand. And let's just say I grabbed, I mean, if you're going for a massive offensive play, you can use Skyburn, otherwise you can definitely do Circle, but regardless, because you're normal summoning anyhow, you can grab the other one you're missing, right? So it's not that important. And then what you can do is, if you want to pop Spell Trap, you can use this, but ideally you use Fire King to pop this, right? And then you get to special summon, let's just say boom, and then boom, get to special summon these back, and you can use Fire King Skyburn to pop the Ponyx, or pop both Ponyx and Baron, it really doesn't matter. And then you pop that, destroy any last remaining cards your opponent has, and then this allows the Garunix to trigger. Let's just say we destroy 2, right? Allowing the Garunix to trigger, which then allows you to dump, let's just say Arvata, and Avata will trigger, allowing you to special summon. We can go back with the Kieran again, right? Look how much damage is on the board, and we've cleared everything already. So this is a lot of damage because this sent Kieran as well. This is going to be 3,900. Oh, sorry, Avata. So this is going to be 3,400, and you can still have the option if you want to tag out. You can destroy the Kieran and the special summon Avata, and the Kieran's effect will trigger, allowing you to special summon back this. And you have a monster negate, loads of attack. So this is a quick play you can trigger during the battle phase. So loads of options available, right? So this is just when I do combo videos, testings, I look beyond the first turn, which was the basic setup that we saw. I saw a lot of YouTube videos as I was trying to learn as well that just tells you what happens when you start. But when I do playtests against AIs and whatnot, I realize, what's going to happen after. And I think this is super, super important because you need to know, not all games are non-interactive. Enemies will use cards. They'll try to get rid of your monsters, try to prevent you from using effects, and the best way to learn is really understand what a card does. And you can see the strength of the Fire King is that they can dish out a ton of damage. If you only have a few cards that are not blowout cards against Fire King, and I don't even care if you have monsters set in defense mode, right? If they're not immune to destruction and your face down cards are not threatening, the 2 pops from the Fire King Skyburn, the 1 non-targeting from Kieran, and then the negate is enough to push through everything. Like, you're not stopping this 34, 64. This is already 8,800 plus 18, which is over 10,000 damage easily. Well, not quite. Maybe my math is off, but it's a lot of damage, okay? And you got to pop 3 cards as well, and you still have a monster in the game. So that's kind of the combo stuff. Not very straightforward because I showed the initial combo, which is the Ponix, but also what happens on the Crapback, which having double Ponix searching the Skyper and then the circle, maximizing its potential is definitely key. So that's come up a lot as well. In terms of test hands, after some careful considerations, test hands are difficult because you don't know what the enemies you're facing. So yeah, that might just be it for this video. I'll talk about the locals matchup today, and that will wrap up the first episode of this. And again, if you're thinking about playing, I really suggest you just try, get those structure decks, get some practice in, because you can make the same deck list on EDO Pro or Omega and just test them out. That's the only way you're going to improve, and it's going to be really key. And I hope you have fun, because I honestly wish I did this earlier when I had the chance, but you know what, it's never too late. It's never too late. So hopefully this inspires you to try out locals, even with just $30, to play this, meet some new friends, and have a great time. So I'll talk about the breakdown of today's matches. First game was against Mirror Match, someone who was also playing Fire Kings and also the structure deck version. I think the person didn't fully understand what the deck was capable of. So in the Mirror Match, you have a lot of popping effects, destroying. So my plan, of course, is getting cards like Avata and Rengbali out, because those are super important. Me negating the enemy Fire King Island with Rengbali, and negating their Garunix effect with Avata basically won me the game. So that's essentially it. Very straightforward, 2-0. Second game was against, again, structure deck builds. So it's an improved version of the Jack. Is it Jack Atlas? It's basically the Synchro. So I'll be very honest. Our locals, from what I've seen, with regards to seeing other people's locals from the internet and some people I've talked to for remote duels and whatnot, I would say it's more friendly. Okay, so not super meta, which I think is perfect. If everyone's super try hard and competitive, it might not be the best locals for me to ease into things. Because like I said, last time I played was years and years ago. So I'm very happy. They seems like a very friendly bunch. So I'm super happy I found, and this is my locals, right? So I'm super happy. Now, if you are going to a super competitive locals, I'm sure you will get better as a player more quickly, prepping you for big events. But each their own. I personally like this friendly environment versus some meta stuff as well. And then when I prep for the bigger events, I may look into things like online practice and even coaches that are available as well. So regardless, looking back into my second game was the Synchro structure deck. The first game I actually lost because wow, that deck can pump out a lot of disruptions. So full board banish into card pop. It's just that deck is actually really good. I really liked it, and you know what? It was also a rather young person against me, so I could see myself years ago in him playing Yu-Gi-Oh, beating the adults. What a moment! He was really happy, and I am super happy for him as well. So he beat me game 1, and in game 2 was very quick because I set my board, and in game 3 he set his board. I imprimp the tuner, and I draw a Lockbird. I'm very lucky to have those 2 hand traps, and he couldn't do anything. So it passed back to me. And like I said, Fire King's combo on the crackback is insane. So that was 2-1. My third was against Unchained. Now this was Metafy, and it was fully Unchained, and I could not deal with it. I just couldn't. The Unchained deck also loves getting popped, and the Fire Kings loves popping cards. So every time I pop, they float. And even if I pop spell and traps, they also float. So it is not an ideal matchup. I definitely need to look into cards such as staples or things that do really well, either extra deck options or anything like that, to essentially go against the Unchained deck in a better matchup. So without that, I can do it, and I lost 0-2. I did lose 0-2. After that, we've had the Sword Soul matchup. So Sword Soul, funny enough, the Sword Soul I played the most on EDO Pro against AIs. When I was starting out and learning the Fire King, I did nothing but play against Sword Souls because I was told it was not the worst AI, and actually one that teaches you how to play around a lot of effects. So I did nothing but dual Sword Soul on EDO Pro, and I know what interrupts to use and what their end board looks like, and it was really good that I practiced against it, because that was a 2-0 victory for me. And I had the first game. He bricked really hard, unplayable, so he didn't do anything and just passed me. I bricked 2 with 5 cards, but my 6th card was a engine card, so I was able to play. Second game, he put up a nice board, but I remember my learnings from EDO Pro, and we just managed to crack back and forth after 4 turns, win the match. So after that, 4 people with 3-1, and the Konami system crashed, so we basically had to have 4 first place joined. And of course the mat was from the raffle. I won from the raffle as well. Overall, I'm super happy. Like I've said, this has been a wonderful event. It's just a shame that I've gone basically near the end of the year, and due to holidays and whatnot and other responsibilities, the next time I join will be in January. Now, because it'll be in January, I'll have plenty of time to upgrade my deck. And I'm gonna kit it out. I'm actually going to look into the expansions, or what to build for my deck. And next time you see a deck profile, this is probably gonna be an insane one. Alright, but as always, really just appreciative of the community. And you go on, like I said, the subreddit, even the Yu-Gi-Oh subreddit, and everyone else. It's just we are a friendly bunch. That's how I feel. Yu-Gi-Oh players are a friendly bunch. Maybe I haven't played against players that are not so friendly, but so far I've really enjoyed it, and really takes me back to the days on the playgrounds, and that's what I was looking for, the nostalgia. So overall, super happy with the mat. hopefully, my goal is in 2024 top an official